You're now, well, you're wonderful. I know, and nobody had to drive, so.
No.
Thank you for sticking with the technical difficulties. And here we are. So when you find your sitting place, wiggle a little bit. And if it helps me to take my hands next to my hips and lift up a little bit and then slowly let myself back down. And then I have a chance to be better balanced. When you feel like you've got your two sit bones balanced, then soften your face. Soften from the groins towards the knees on both legs. Ask the spine to be tall, straight, lifted. And let that lift come up across the front body, across your sternum, and then spread outward along the shoulders. You can bring your hands into Namaste if that's comfortable for you. If you prefer to leave them on your legs, that's good too. Helps you with a little bit of lift. Exhale the air from your lungs. Inhale through your nose. We're just going to Om. Release your hands to your thighs, back of the hands touching your skin. Let the chin come forward towards the throat, but in a soft way, in a gentle way, not a pushing, just an allowing of that head to come forward, bowing towards the heart. Keep your eyes closed as you raise your head slowly, and then open your eyes. Okay, morning, morning. So excited to see you. We are going to start lying down, move to seated, couple of standing poses, and then work on some inversions. Okay, so what I've done is, if you can see, I spread a blanket across my sticky mat because we're going to be down for a little while. So make it comfortable. If you have an extra blanket, put it there. If you're on carpet, you probably don't need it. And it's not necessary if you don't have a lot of blankets with you. That's just what I did. Okay.
Oh, say hi. Say hi.
I also have socks on because it's a little cold in here. You're better off without socks, but you can keep them on for the first few poses if your room is a little cool like mine is. Okay. So lie down. Have your legs bent and your feet parallel, touching the floor, parallel to the floor. Arms up, hands, palms facing each other. Releasing from the shoulder blades up through the fingers, and then curl the fingers and stretch the fingers a couple of times to get a little bit of movement in those finger joints, and release the palms up over your head. So now your arms are lying along the ground above your head. From here, we're going to lift the hips just a little bit. And then we're on an exhalation, we're going to bring the back, uncurl the back towards the floor, and then put the hips back down. Now leave the hips down. On an inhalation, curl the back up and away from the floor. On an exhalation, release the back down toward the floor. Go slowly, one vertebra at a time if you can manage it. On the inhalation, bring your middle back up, lifting the rib cage towards the ceiling. And then exhale, the spine's back, the whole spine back down. One more time, unless you have a question. So leave the hips down. The inhalation, the back arches up. And the exhalation, it releases down and lengthens along the sticky mat or your blanket. Okay. So now what we're going to do is start to use the feet and roll to the left side of your hips a little bit, basically staying down, and then try to get the top of your pelvis to touch the mat, and then roll to the right. Does that make sense? And then you lift. You're on position. I'm just sitting up so I can see you. So with the feet bent, and you're using your feet to adjust your pelvis, if that makes any sense. Roll to the left. The right side will lift a little. Try to make better contact with that left side. And then the top of the pelvis, see, roll across your back so the top of the pelvis is touching. And then come across to, so now the right side of the pelvis is touching. That's it, Cindy. That's it. Good. And then now your back will lift a little bit because now you're going to roll across the lower edge of your pelvis. Does that make sense? We're making a big, slow circle with the pelvis. Mia, do you have a question?
No, I just can't hardly. I wanted to make sure you could see what I was doing.
Yeah. All right.
Can you show us? I can't really figure out what you're saying.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to show because there isn't much. I'm going to stand, pretend I'm lying down. Okay? Pretend I'm lying down. All I'm going to do is I'm going to release the right side of the pelvis towards the floor, which would be back here, and then tucking this way so that the top of the pelvis goes back, and then rolling to the left side of the pelvis. And then I'm going to get sit bones in contact. Is that making more sense?
So you're asking us to circle the hips.
Circling, yes. Making a circle with the hips.
Circle.
Okay. And as you're doing it, you want to notice, and then go the other direction so you've got both directions going equally. As you're doing it, notice which parts will go willingly down and which parts give you a harder time to release down. Just paying some attention to that. Okay. All right, so now let the hips be still and bring your hands to the base of your skull here. And you're going to just encourage that neck to be long. With the strength of your arms and your hands, stretch your head away from your shoulders and then gently just rock it. Take this child that is your head and let the back of the neck, especially the back of the neck, stretch, but feel like you're just loosening the way the head is attached to the spine. And then roll it in both directions. Make sure you're going in both directions with your own beautiful head, releasing long and releasing from side to side. And then when you feel like you've done some good to your head, to your neck, to your spine, then gently put your head back down. And you don't have to look at me now, but we've done some work. If you can see, here's my foot. Stay lying down because I like that. And what we're going to work on today is this rim of the heel, this circular. If you picture a circle going around your heel. Okay, everybody okay with that? So now what I want you to do is have your feet, instead of rotating the pelvis, we're going to rotate the knees. And as you rotate the knees, make a circle with your knees, think about that rim of each heel on each foot. So as you go to the left, obviously one side of the heel will be touching, and then try to bring the back edge of the heel to touching. Then go to the other side, and then notice, for me at least, I think for most people, the edge of the heel that is between the heel and the toes. This is the one that's the harder edge to get down. Just see if that's your experience.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, you definitely, Again, then go both directions. Because we're gonna work with this rim of the heel in some standing poses in a little while. Can everybody feel the circle around the heel, though?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. And this also, even though we're moving the knees, it's the knees into the hip joint that is getting some attention in the body. Okie dokie. Now go ahead and come on, roll to your right, either side really, right if you can, and then sit up. Now we're going to start with a pose that for those of you that were with me last week, we ended with Setubandha Sarvangasana last week because this is one of the best poses for our immune system. So I want to make sure I give good attention to it today, okay? So there are hundreds of ways to set up the pose. What I want to do today is take something that's about as thick as this. If you have a bolster like Nan does, great. If you don't, a stack of blankets or some firm cushions, something like that will do. Put it on your blanket or your sticky mat, lengthwise with the sticky mat. Mia, you have some blankets?
A blanket.
Good. Good, that'll do. Maybe, do you have one underneath you?
Yeah.
Yeah, roll that with that blanket because you don't really need the one underneath you, and that'll get you a little bit more height. Your flexibility, you can use some more height. Okay, and then get something for your feet. I'm going to use a block. If you have another cushion or another couple of blankets, then I would use that. And you put it down next to the... Cindy, sorry. Oh, yeah, you've got a blanket there.
That's all right.
You got something. Okay. Now you're going to lie across the bolster lengthwise. So can you see where I've put the foot support goes off one end? Okay, yeah, if you know the pose, go on in. There you go. So then, Cindy, have you ever done this pose before?
I have not.
Okay, now then I'll show you. Everybody else needs to see what they're doing. So you're going to sit on the bolster or whatever it is. Let me just show you before you go in. And the feet are going to be supported, so they're about the same height as the rest of the body. You lie back, and then you wiggle until your shoulders are touching the floor or the blanket or the rug. So from the shoulders to the back of the head, that's all on the same level. And then the body is supported on whatever height you put there. And Mia, it's okay if the feet are a little bit lower than the body. I would put one of those blocks under each foot, and then your both legs will be supported. Yeah,
One on each foot?
One under each foot. Yeah, then you don't have to worry about your legs rolling off. Oh, Cindy, that looks very good. And the key thing, I suppose, is how does this feel?
Amazing.
Who said that?
Feels good.
Good. Okay. And Cindy, you too? Okay. The arms, my favorite position is for the arms to be like goalposts like this, but they could be at a slight angle next to the body, pretty much wherever they're comfortable. And now, Cindy, slowly, one leg at a time, stretch your legs straight if they will go straight. If they have to stay bent, that's okay. But see, go slow. Well, no problem, right? Nope, didn't look like you had any problem doing that. But there should be a nice gentle lift under the chest. The body's
Yes.
supported. The heart is both supported and lifted and encouraged to open. The shoulders are flowing towards the earth. Now consciously release the neck long. Yeah, that's it, Cindy. Let the back of the head slide away from the shoulders. Shoulders soften. So this is one of the best poses we can do for our immune system. It's a slight inversion so that the blood is flowing in a different direction than usual. The heart is supported. The lungs, which we definitely need to take care of at this time, the lungs are lifted and encouraged to open. Now I'm going to ask for a couple of specific points for you to look at. The respiratory diaphragm is a sheet of muscle that basically attaches from the back body, the back ribs, towards the front ribs. It goes across the torso and it separates the lung area from the organs of digestion and elimination. Okay. I want you to start paying attention to this band of muscle, especially on the inhalation. See if you can feel the back of the body, the lower edge of the ribs, widening and expanding on the inhalation. Don't make it be a real pressured thing, but just watch. On the inhalation, bring your attention to that back rim of the diaphragm. And if you notice that it's widening, that's a happy thing. So encourage that. And then total relaxation on the exhalation. On the inhalation, just notice what especially the back of the diaphragm is doing where it comes in contact with your blankets. And relax on the exhalation. Now, keeping that in your minds, if you can, as much as you can, now I'd like to draw some parallel lines running lengthwise in your body. The first two are going to run from each side of your neck through your torso and along your inner leg. So that part of the heel that was hard to descend earlier, we're actually trying to lengthen from our necks through our groins down the whole inner leg towards that point on the inner heels. And it doesn't really matter if you have any success at this. Just go looking, asking, telling the body, this is what I would like you to do. And if any part of your mind can still be thinking about your diaphragm, that's really yoga. Let's do 5 more breaths where you feel the diaphragm and maybe use the exhalation to extend those inner lines down through the groins towards the heel. Maybe you can coordinate those two looks. When you've done your 5 watched breaths, then start to wiggle towards your head to come on out. And push yourself to your side and come on up. Now, Deb and Mia, both of you looked like you had a little trouble letting your legs be still. So I'm guessing that if we had strapped your legs, if we had taken the time to strap your legs, then you may
No,
have...
I was moving my feet to get the line to go to the front of the heel,
Oh, good for you.
having to go inwards instead of outwards.
Okay. All righty. But that's just a thought that maybe next time. I didn't take the time to go into strapping the legs. And Cindy,
I
your
have a strap.
they relaxed just fine. But if you noticed in the pictures, a couple
Yes.
people had straps on their legs, and that's just so that you can relax the legs more and you don't have to even think about them falling off of whatever support they were on. Okay, from
Okay.
there, now we're going to do an Upavista Konasana next, which means you're going to sit on maybe a little bit of a folded blanket. If your hips are stiffer, like mine are, sit on a little bit of something, a folded blanket, good, and have the legs wide.
Who's there?
So Upavista is seated, Kona is angle. So this is seated angle pose. And for this pose, we're going to be in this exact same shape a little later when we do the standing poses. And so the shape will be the same, but the orientation to gravity will be a little bit different. All right. So Cindy, are your legs straight? Go ahead and straighten them out if they're not straight.
Straight out.
And then the feet
Oh.
are active and awake. Before we go into the pose, let's do a little bit of ankle rotations and stretching out into the feet, curling the toes back, stretching the feet, curling the toes back, stretching the feet. And it kind of a little bit of a pumping action. You can maybe get your legs a little bit straighter each time you stretch through the ankles and the feet. All right. That same release that we were doing in the last pose, well, we're not going to do it from the whole body because of the angle here, but from the inner groin out to along the inner knee, out towards the inner heel. See if you can release along that line, make that line longer, stretching out towards the inner heel. And if you feel like you can release in that direction, I'm stroking my legs, just maybe encourage that release. Let the skin flow in that direction. And then on the outer leg, we want to return towards the hips. So this is a releasing of stress and tension and a receiving of getting those femur bones better and better situated in their sockets. Release and receive. Release and receive. Now take your hands and put them on the blanket or the sticky mat in front of you. Push down with the hands. Lift the spine long. The shoulders be wide. This widening across the sternum. If you can get some width there. Face is soft. If you want to do a little bit of a bobblehead, release any tension. Let the head move. And then we're going to slowly inch forward, just keeping the back straight. Don't go any further than you can. Keep the back straight. And when you've gotten to about where you can get today, pause and take an inhalation, once again, watching for that diaphragm to release into the skin, release towards the ribs. Maybe the ribs will widen in the back on the inhalation. And then on the exhalation, you're just getting tall and long and releasing down that inner leg. Okay, push yourself back up. Lift your legs by putting your hands under your knees and lifting towards you. And then do what feels good. My body wants to rotate my legs. That feels good in the socket. Yeah, rocking back and forth, whatever feels good. One leg kicking out, the other one coming back, kicking out and coming back. Okay. Now we are going to do some standing poses. So we are working through the cold series and the immune series. Now, if you got the email from Laura yesterday, you have a nice picture layout of the whole series. So we can't do the whole thing in it. And you'll notice that it starts with 3 standing poses. We're going to combine the first 2 standing poses into one in the pose that we call right angle pose or half halasana, Ardha Uttanasana, half forward bend. I'm going to do it twice. Okay? So I'd like you to eyeball 2 different things. One thing I've got here is a folding chair. And I'm going to use as my 2 heights the top of the chair and the back of the chair. Do you have anything you can use there?
Have this. I don't know if it'll. It's the only chair I've got.
Oh yeah, that'll work. Do you have anything? That'll work for one of the heights. Oh, you've got 2 heights. You've got 2 heights. And if you don't have a chair, a table is good as one of the heights. What else do you have, Cindy? I see you got a table back there. Oh, you've got a folding chair too. Oh my God. All right. Okay. So now I am taking off my socks. If anybody else is wearing socks. I'm going to put my hands on the higher elevation. And then I'm going to walk back my feet until I get my body into roughly a right angle pose. That's a good starting point for me. If anybody needs to start higher, then that's fine too. So first you just find your distance. The feet should be parallel to each other, hips width apart. Now go ahead and lift up your right heel and stretch the right toes, and then put your heel back down, making the foot a little longer if you can. And then heel down, lift the right toes, and then replace them, stretching them away from the heel. Maybe we stretch that foot a little bit. Then lift the left heel, stretch it away from the toes. Then leave the heel planted and stretch the toes away from the heel. And I don't don't know if any of you felt that, but there are echoes when you do that up through the whole body. So now what we're going to look for, everybody looks like they're in good position. You're going to ask your hips to come farther away from your hands. The head is neutral with the ears between the arms. Let the hips keep stretching, releasing away from the hands. Then release the hands away from the hips. Deb, your hips have to come back a little bit or your feet have to go a little closer to the chair. Yep, Shar, you too. Deb, that was a little bit more than you needed. There. Okay, good. All right. Okay, now come on out. Come on out. And now we'll try the lower height. Okay. This is just the testing. We want to see which height feels better in our bodies. So the same thing, you put your hands on the seat of the chair, spread those fingers, take a little time to put some attention in your fingers, spread the fingers, step back, the same basic movement, pulling the hips away from the hands. The hands are releasing away from the hips. Spine is getting long. Heads between the ears, but no tension in the neck or as little tension as you can manage in the neck. All right. Now come on out and decide for yourself which one of those felt better in your body. Did your body prefer the higher height or the lower height? And if the higher height wasn't high enough, find a higher one. If the lower one wasn't low enough, go a little lower. Okay. That looks pretty good, but step farther away from the chair so that your arms can be straight. No, that was for Cindy. Okay, so everybody make their choice. Now we're going to spend a little longer in the pose, and once again we're going to work on the diaphragm and the heels. Nan, which height did you like better, Nan?
I like the lower height.
You like the lower?
Me too.
Okay, so everybody
Lower.
pick your height. Pick your height. Walk your feet back. Check to see the basic things. The palms are spreading, the fingers are long, the feet are parallel to each other, and hips width. These are the basic points. The arms should be straight and the head between the arms so that your ears are right between your arms, your upper arms. Do you have a question there, Cindy?
Are you on your knees?
Yeah, just because I'm looking at you.
Oh, okay. So we should be standing, right?
You should be standing, yeah. I came in because I need to see you.
Okay.
Okay, that looks pretty good.
Okay.
Okay, good. All right, now as you stay, we're going to stay another minute or two here if you can. If you need to come out, you come out. But while you're staying, the first place to look is that diaphragm. Okay, so watch for the inhalation. Can the diaphragm lift up towards the back of the body and widen those lower ribs out as you inhale, and then release the diaphragm and ask the spine to be long with the exhalation. And if you find that on that inhalation, you lift your whole body, your torso lifts up a little bit, that'd just be an interesting thing to notice. Is it sliding?
Yeah.
My chair is sliding.
Okay, now we are going to go down to the heels. But before you do, and if you need to come out and take a breath, you do, whatever you need to do. Let's release the head. Let the head kind of wobble. Extend the neck. Can your throat soften? Shard, you need to be higher up or bend your legs. What do you need, my dear? And that position, the way you are right now is okay too. Put your hands up higher. See if that helps. Okay. Yeah, and Nan, if that feels better, then that works too.
Yeah, whatever works. I'm just gonna do it.
The bodies will tell us what they like. Okay, so now we're going to bring the attention down into those inner heels again. Okay. Try to feel the whole rim, the circular rim of the heels. And if, like me, it's that inner heel that's hard to release down, see, can you release from the groin towards the inner knee, along the inner ankle, towards the inner heel. Okay. And now the last bit of concentration, coordinate those two actions, the lift and widening of the diaphragm across the back ribs, and then on the exhalation, almost like you're pumping down through those inner legs towards the inner heel. A few breaths, and when you're done, come on out. Okay, wiggle, shake the body, shake the arms, shake the hands. What feels good? Wiggle the hips. Now, did anybody have success with reaching those inner heels on the exhalation?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you did, just nice to look. Like the asking is more important than the getting, really, in this. Okay. Now we're going to I'm taking the blanket off my sticky mat. We're going to do that same pose that we did sitting down, but when you do it standing up, it's called Prasarita Padottanasana. So the legs are wide, the feet are parallel to each other, hands on hips, and slowly start to come forward. Now, only come as far forward as you can keep your back straight. So if you need to put a block or your chair or something there for you to hold on to, then do that. The chair, yeah, chair is fine, block's fine, whatever you need, bring your hands to something.
You can touch the floor, you're good? Or do you want to be higher?
All right.
Who's crying? I have crying dogs.
What?
I have dogs outside. We're crying.
Oh, well, you can put them in. Well, it's one of the fun things. We get to see each other's animals.
Yeah,
right.
well, they can see me, but I don't want them in here.
Okay. Cindy, how wide are your legs? I can't tell from here. They should be
About hip.
Oh, go wider. Go
About
wider.
hip width.
Yeah, go much wider, 3-4 feet. Yeah. I don't know. Can you see what Deb looks like for Shar? Yeah, there you go. Now you've got the shape. Okay, so the hips again are releasing away from the shoulders, but the shoulders actually, what?
How important is it to have your, if you can put your hands on the ground, put your hands on the ground? How?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, but just use a little height if you need a little height. Hands on the ground is great, actually. Okay. All right, so once you've got the basic shape, we're gonna stay a minute or two here, not quite as long as the other one, but once again, bring your mind to that diaphragm and notice we want to really increase the movement in those lower ribs. So watch and see, can you widen across those lower ribs? And the easiest time to find it is on that inhalation. And now with the exhalation, see if you can release from the groins towards the inner heel. And this pose The inner heels, you should have better success with those inner heels going down, right? Just because of where the legs are. You may have to, on this pose, put a little more energy into taking the outer heels down. Okay, walk the feet together, hands on the hips. And up and out you come. Okay, so I would love to get in a shoulder stand. So for those of you that know shoulder stand, go ahead and set up. Shar, how do you want to do it today?
On the chair.
Okay, on the chair. Okay, how about you, Nan?
I'm going to do the chair too.
Okay, now, and if you don't want to do the chair, if you don't want to do shoulder stand, you can repeat Setubandha Sarvanasana, the pose we started with. Okay, now, Cindy, have you done shoulder stand?
I don't know. Show me, tell me what it is and show me.
All right. It takes, for most of us, it takes about 3 blankets or a bolster. So I'm going to stack my blankets, one on top of the other. Make a nice stack. And then if you have a bolster, I would put that next to the stack of blankets. Okay. I'm gonna put, and then I put one blanket here just to make it soft and not sticky. Okay. The rest of you guys, do you have anybody have a question on your shoulder stand? If everybody's good, I'm gonna work with Cindy on getting her set up. Mia, do you remember? It looks nice.
Yeah. Okay.
It looks nice. And I'll check on you once you're in. Okay.
Just go up or wait?
So when to go into the pose, Cindy.
Just so you know,
Uh-huh.
you are breaking, okay, I see you now. You're
Okay.
breaking up, so,
All right.
and it's on my part, so.
Oh, it could be my Wi-Fi too. It's where we live.
Okay,
You're gonna sit on the bolster and lean back until your shoulders are on the edge of the blanket and your head is down below. Okay, will you tip your camera up so I can see closer to the ground, because that's an important place I want to see with you. Mia, you look good.
okay, so hips on bolster.
Uh-huh. Shoulders on the, oh, okay, now you have to wiggle until your head is on the ground. And just your
Okay.
shoulders are on that blanket.
Okay. Let me try this.
Okay, wait. Okay. Now, wait, back way up, back. Cindy, come on out. Cindy. What I have studied is Iyengar yoga, and we're really neurotic about our blankets.
Okay,
So,
okay.
so I want you to fold it. So everybody who's up in the pose or has come down to rest, whatever position you're in, just we're near the end of the class. 5 more minutes. So breathe and relax, and then set yourself up for Shavasana. Mia, that pose looks good. Who is that? Shar, nice arch. Okay, much better. Much better. Okay, and we're not going to go too much further today. Put that pillow a little bit more under your hip. Lift your hips up again, Cindy. And put, yeah, there. Even a little bit more. Even a little bit more. Yeah. All right. So all I want you to do today, Mia, will you stay? I want Cindy to take a look at you. All I want you to do today, Cindy, is take your hands back under your head and stretch your head away from your shoulders. Okay, like we did at the beginning. Yes, exactly. And stretch your neck long. Stretch your neck long. Okay, because that's what you're going to get from this pose. Okay, but I don't want you to go any further today. We'll keep working on it. All right. Now roll to your side and take a look at Mia, because she's still up in the pose. She stayed up so you could see what it looks like. You see where you're going.
And I can't
No, you can't
see anybody.
Oh, you can't see anybody?
No,
Oh, could you see me when I did it?
no. I see you now sitting up, but it's my internet connection is not
Okay.
good.
Okay.
If I do this again, I'll go upstairs where it's better.
Oh, okay. Okay. So Mia, roll yourself gently out and set up for a shavasana. Okay. So, but the idea, I just want to get you the idea today, Cindy, is that you would end up rolling over and then eventually your legs go up in the air. Okay. But you take your time and we'll get you there in stages. Or, you know, if you're kind of acrobatic and feel like going for it, we'll go whatever speed you want. Okay. And that pose is, for anybody who just came out of the pose, the immune system recommends 20 minutes in shoulder stand and the variations. So you really can't do that pose too much. It has so many benefits for the body that it's really worth learning if you'd like to stay and put some time in. Okay. Now, everybody just go ahead, lie down and relax. Whatever you think is going to help you relax the most. Cindy, keep that blanket under your head and see what feels better, the blanket under the head or no blanket under the head, in terms of allowing your neck to relax. Mia, I like everything except that I think some more support under your head. Yeah. Okay. So whenever you've found the position that suits you the best, bring your mind into your body. Into your breath. Returning once again to the gentle ebb and flow of the breath that synchronizes, in fact, is caused by the movement of the diaphragm. So as you enjoy the movement of the breath, visualize the tightening and the relaxing of the diaphragm. You might be able to bring your mind right into your body and feel that diaphragm moving. It contracts and comes towards your feet.
It's 11 o'clock.
And it relaxes up inside the rib cage. And it's 11. If you have to leave at 11, go ahead and leave. If you can stay a few more minutes, we'll just do a little longer shavasana. Let your eyes be heavy. Let your tongue relax. And see, can you relax that tongue right into its root, which goes deep into your throat. See if you can relax all the way down into your throat. And can that relaxation spread along the collarbones, outward towards the shoulders, down the elbows, the wrists, the fingers. Can you visualize your heart? Continuous movement. See if you can feel towards the space around your heart. Can you soften there? Let the heart be. Believe that you are loved and that your love flows beyond you, through you, and beyond you. Let that relaxation spread down your legs, across the pelvis. Earlier in the class, we connected the two sides of the neck to the inner legs. See if you can find that line and soften the whole line. Let's do 5 more conscious breaths. Don't try to make them big or change them in any way. Just watch them. Returning to the movement of the diaphragm and the movement of the breath as it comes in and recedes. Each exhalation has the potential to deepen your relaxation. And when you've done 5, start to wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, and then start to move any part of the body that is asking to move. Very lovingly, very gently bend both your legs or one leg and roll gently to your right. And rest there for another breath or 2 breaths. That feels good. How much can I melt? Let your left shoulder lean over so that your torso faces the ground a little bit more. Weight comes on your hands and your arms and you push yourself gently up. Yeah, you really melted. I like that. Now sit any direction, any kind of sitting. Bring our hands to namaste. Let the head come forward with the eyes closed. Honor, deeply honor the self that is inside of us and at the same time is universal. And slowly raise your head with your eyes closed. When you're ready, open your eyes. Namaste. I'm so happy that you came. So happy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And over distance, we are together.
Yes.
A lot of love to you guys. And what a great thing. I mean, Nan, I haven't seen you in so long. And Mia
No.
is in Florida. And Cindy, welcome. If you come next,
Thank you.
you are most welcome.
Thank you.
And anyway.
Thank you so much. So
Oh,
good to hear your voice.
you too. I love you guys. I love your new look. And it was really fun when you did let the animals come in at the end.
Yeah, they all licked my face.
They were just saying we love that skin right there. All right, you guys have a good day. And all those poses or tools, you know, just even if you have time for one of them, especially that right angle pose is a really portable pose. You know, anytime, a little boost for the immune system. Stay well.
Thank you.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Come on, little guys. Come on, you got a mother.